So as you might have seen, French President Emmanuel Macron threatened to cut off social media as ongoing protests have become more violent. Just some quick background, after a police officer shot and killed a 17-year-old named Nael Berzouk during a traffic stop on June 27th, outraged protesters took to the streets. There have been some cases of looting and violence, and Macron has blamed social media platforms for the uptick in rioting.
Nous avons vu sur plusieurs d'entre elles, Snapchat, TikTok et plusieurs autres, à la fois l'organisation de rassemblements violents se faire, mais une forme de mimétisme de la violence.
He then went on to play the "it's the video games" card.
Qui, chez les plus jeunes, conduit à une forme de sortie du réel. Et on a le sentiment parfois que certains d'entre eux vivent dans la rue les jeux vidéo qui les ont intoxiqués.
In addition to blaming social media for the turmoil in France, Macron reportedly threatened to ban it if things get out of control. The president also said he'd be taking steps to remove content his government found to be sensitive.
Nous prendrons dans les prochaines heures, et nous avons commencé à l'organiser, plusieurs dispositions. D'abord, en lien avec ces plateformes, d'organiser le retrait des contenus les plus sensibles.
Even though Macron's government is now walking back the threat of a social media ban, people in France are concerned. Some people have pointed out that Macron's comments feel kind of authoritarian. The leader of France's Socialist Party said that censoring social media is seen in undemocratic countries like China, Russia, and Iran. The governments of those countries keep their people both from the outside world and from seeing dissent. Some critics have said that Macron's claim that social media has encouraged rioting and looting is a distraction from the problem at hand. France is historically racist and violent law enforcement. Though Macron condemned the killing of Berzouk and said France needed to work on the deep causes of what happened, he failed to name those causes. Activists have pointed out that any violence in the streets is in response to historical police violence that has been made visible by social media.
The protests are the result of a process which is connected to systemic racism and a way of operating in the French police that targets mostly people of color, young men, especially young people of color.
What's more, rioting isn't new in France, nor is it specific to protesting police violence. The country has a long history of radical social movements, dating back to the French Revolution in 1789. And just months before the police killing of Berzouk, demonstrators were protesting a new law that raised France's retirement age from 62 to 64. Garbage collectors went on strike and trash piled up. People vandalized storefronts and burned cars. Then, unlike now, Macron said he heard protesters' anger. In both cases, the president ignored the pleas of the public.
Et donc, les services de l'État s'organiseront en lien avec ces plateformes pour pouvoir obtenir une réponse effective.
This begs the question, how much longer will the president ignore the voices of the populists? And will Macron use an authoritarian measure and censor his own people? Only time and TikTok will tell.